Alright, I think I'm starting to figure this David Leitch guy out. Also, yes, make stunts a category at the Oscars, damn it. Right up there with casting and horror films. How about that? How about that?
Yeah, boy! Stunts!
Let's do it later. Want to go to a beach somewhere?
Drink a spicy margarita.
Make some bad decisions.
Yes.
And today we have the film that I'm so glad I'll never have to see the trailer for ever again. The Fall Guy. It's one of those films where it's such a big, enormous blockbuster that what more can old MovieMan here, little boy, movie boy, add to the conversation, like, if we're being honest. The Fall Guy is the latest full-length feature film by director David Leitch. Now, I love this guy. He has done so many bangers. Like, well, funny, my exact wording was mixed yet goated in terms of directors. What has he done, you may ask? Well, he's done such films like that I've reviewed on this channel, like Bullet Train, for starters, which, by the way, if I had to go back and change a review, Bullet Train, a little bit higher up. It's more than grown on me. I love Bullet Train now. He also directed Atomic Blonde, like hello, but then he also directed Hobbs and Shaw, the Fast and Furious spin-off movie. So, and then as a producer especially, suffice to say, he's had involvement in all the John Wick movies, as well as Nobody, which I love, and even Violent Night, which I've reviewed all these movies. It's fun. It's the funny part about this. Overall, I think I have him figured out. I think I like David Leitch more when he's working on an R-rated film. And of course, that means we get to the cast. I'm not even going to get into their previous works because two very much household names, but we have Ryan Gosling, who doesn't know, like a movie star, and Emily Blunt is the other one. Emily Blunt, I think, still well known, but like a little bit lesser known. But wife of John Krasinski, and also very well-known actor who has done her fair share of work in the film industry as well. But they play our titular will they won't they little power couple throughout this film. Plenty of other supporting cast members and all that. Respect to all of them, obviously. They started playing this trailer like 3 or 4 months ago. They've been rolling out the marketing for this film for the longest time. It's in my head, shot to the heart and all this. I get it. The whole movie is about stunt workers in cinema. And the whole thing is Ryan Gosling plays a stunt man who does stunt work for actors in Hollywood, and particularly one from Bullet Train, Aaron Taylor Johnson, is Tom Ryder in this film. But my boy Tangerine from Bullet Train, and many other roles as well. And then a stunt goes wrong in the middle of his career. He's taken out of the game for a while and doesn't feel up to going back. But then, of course, just when he thought he was out,
Pull me back in.
he only agrees to do it because Emily Blunt, his old flame back when he was a stuntman, and he finds out that she's directing a film, her first full-length feature film, and he wants to go be a stuntman on that. But now there's this whole conspiracy. The producer's like, hey, our main star has disappeared. I need you to go find him. He got in with some shady people, be careful. And then sure enough, our stuntman is roped into this whole crazy conspiracy where now his life is in the balance as well as the lives of those he cares about. And that's the movie. Admittedly, yeah, duh, I obviously had some fun with this movie. Like, it's a couple of my favorites, especially some of that hot goss action. Very likable characters. The plot was fine. It was a fun, enjoyable experience. There were laughs to be had. It's your typical summer blockbuster film, just not super crazy action, I guess. Everybody plays the role really well. They definitely have a bunch of professionals on set. The chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt is...
It slapped the shit out of you. I really could.
And I'm open to that in a safer environment.
very nice, it's sweet sometimes, it's hilarious, sometimes awkward, very charming. They both just play off each other very well. There's not really subtlety in this film when they discuss this topic, but yes, this movie is not only a love letter to the stuntmen and stuntwomen of the world, like the stunt workers who help make all the really cool shit you see in the movies for hundreds of years now, but it more or less is a big campaign push to get stunts recognized in the world of Oscars in general, which I agree. I think that it should be a category in the Oscar nominations. I think that when it comes to award shows, there should definitely be a wide variety of categories. I think there should also be an Oscar for like best horror film or for works in horror, one for casting, like more opportunities for the true heroes of the film industry. But this film is definitely being marketed as such. They're borderline fourth wall breaking to the point where there is a scene in the film where like it just comes up in conversation between Gosling and a drug dealer, like, oh man, you're one of those stunt guys, they're so cool, like, you win an Oscar for that. And Ryan Gosling, I thought he looked at the camera for a second, he might have, but he's just like, nope, there isn't. And like, all right, cool, I get it. Like, I'm not opposed to this campaign, I'm here for the push, but like, it's very clear what you guys are doing. And the film's pretty funny. It's hard not to be entertained by Ryan Gosling. This film has plenty of funny comedic moments.
I never forget a fist. I don't mean it like that.
Some of it gets a little bit grating here and there, but we'll approach that very shortly. Honestly, I walked out of The Fall Guy, and I mean, I had a good time, but I didn't love it. It's just a film that exists. I don't have a desire to see it again. I think a couple of us really enjoyed it, but I was just, I always talk about the difference between PG-13 and rated R films, and I hate to keep categorizing a film's quality based on its rating, but I think, especially in the curious case of David Leitch here, I've seen a surprising amount of his filmography, like almost all of it. And literally, if I'm comparing his R films to his PG-13 films, I almost always love his R films. But whenever he does a film like this, it's supposed to have like a broader appeal, be safer to a wider audience, I don't really enjoy myself as much. So just kind of a funny little coincidence there. The flirty chemistry, it gets a little bit redundant. Like the first, 3 or 4 times that it happens where we take a break from the action and we have a scene between like Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's characters respectively, and it's just the whole like back and forth, the witty banter, the awkward flirting by Ryan Gosling and Emily trying to play it off but also like low-key being into it, and the whole will they won't they probably will. After the first time I was like, oh, that was cute and funny, and then 2 more times it happens I'm like, yeah, it's that's funny, that's cute, it's a little ongoing thing. And then it happens again, I'm like, okay, I get it, it's fun little chemistry, sure. I know it is supposed to be partly a comedy, but I get it, the chemistry's good, they're a cute couple. Eventually we do have like an intimate moment that is, it's all well and good, calling her and telling her how he feels, but he's also supposed to be communicating, or he should be communicating, some very crucial information to her on the phone in the same phone call, and he doesn't, and that, for me at least, is quite immersion breaking. I bring this up whenever it's a prevalent factor in reviews in general, and this one's no exception. It might just because I've seen it a bunch of times, or I'm just good at like solving these little like trailer to movie narrative mysteries, but in my opinion, almost every single like action sequence, funny enough, all the stunts, right, all the action sequences, and even like a little twist here and there, all in the trailer. For me, there was very little in the way of like new footage. There was not a new cool stunt that I saw. I was like, oh my god, how'd they do it? They kind of pulled a Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 on this one. Before the movie even started, they showed you the set pieces and what was going to happen. Come to the movie to be able to see this on a bigger screen. And it's like, it's okay to show us a taste of what's coming up, but for me, it ruins so much of the experience. I don't get to like have a joyful like, oh wow, what's going on? Every action scene that played out in the movie, in my head I'm like, yeah, that was from the trailer. Oh, I could figure that out. Oh, okay, cool. So that was the movie, I guess. I saw nothing new. I saw the trailer expanded to almost 2 hours. That's it. I felt like there were no stakes. I mean, yes, there were stakes and people's lives were occasionally in peril, but the way that it was all played for laughs, there was like maybe one small twist that I didn't quite see coming, like one little twisty boy. Aside from that, everybody has hella plot armor, and you kind of figure like nobody really died. Well, no, I take it back. I guess people do die in this movie a little bit, but mostly it's just kind of like a Scooby-Doo mystery, really. Like there's moments where you think, oh, they could possibly be in peril. No, oh, they're okay. Yeah, it's like Ryan Gosling and The Nice Guys. I mean, I did feel a sense of stakes in The Nice Guys, but I think with Ryan's character, you just knew that he somehow was gonna bumble and flop his way through whatever situation, and yet somehow, miraculously, against all odds, come through unscathed. And when a film doesn't have stakes, I am significantly less interested. I'm less invested. And this one's more of a personal gripe. From the trailer to the film itself, like the amount of needle drops, it's like, I get it. You know, the cool, you have all these big heavy hitting songs and whatnot. Yeah, great. It harkens back to nostalgia for some people. But for some reason, just the amount of needle drops in this film just kind of grated my nerves for some reason. Maybe I'm being a Debbie Downer, a salty Susan, if you will. I just didn't particularly love all the needle drops, but again, it could just be me griping about it. Maybe when it comes to your stereotypical Hollywood summer blockbuster, some of them can still hit appropriately, like Dune Part 2 is PG-13 and it's in my top 10 for the year so far, and people are going as far as to say it's excellence in cinema. People are saying, oh, it's one of the best sci-fi films in the last 100 years. So that's really great in PG-13, but maybe it's a matter of who's behind the camera and the content and how seriously you take the subject. I don't mind romantic comedies. I've reviewed some on my channel in a very favorable light. I don't mind lighter action adventure summer hits and whatnot, but for some reason this just, I don't know, I thought this would have a larger scale, and it just kind of felt like a small scale blockbuster that had an important message. Admittedly, I respect and appreciate what this film is setting out to do, which is to spread the word and show people like, hey, by the way, there's people you probably don't even know about, the stunt workers that help make cinema what it is, and hopefully this will work in getting it recognized. It was a movie made with very good intentions, and there's very good aspects about the film. The trailer gives way too much away. The movie itself just didn't offer anything super duper exciting for me. A dumb, fun, kind of charming watch for me, but end of the day, I give The Fall Guy a high 3 out of 5. A high 3 out of 5 on my scale between personal enjoyment and quality of a film. Combine those two, it is a very well made film, admittedly, though I didn't love the film. Boom, you put those together, we have a above average experience for old MovieMan here. I saw it on IMAX. You don't need to see it in IMAX. If the trailer gripped you, if you love Ryan Gosling, sure, catch it in theaters. I wouldn't dissuade you from seeing it in theaters, but you also wouldn't be missing out on a whole lot if you just watched it at home. Definitely check out David Leitch's other, his wider body of work. I loved and I highly recommend Atomic Blonde, and obviously I've reviewed it on my channel, but Bullet Train is another fun, hard recommend for me. I just think the director's at his best whenever he's doing more serious, or at the very least more R-rated content, basically. And then even for Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, they're both great in this film. I have no complaints about their performances or them as an actor or anything, but I've seen them in more engaging roles. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about The Fall Guy. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode of whatever movie I review next. And goodbye, travelers.